All right, guys, we are back today. We got Microsoft gapping up a little bit. Google had earnings yesterday as well. Today we have Boeing earnings releasing sometime this morning. Right now, Boeing is moving a little bit in pre-market. We got Google, which did have a negative reaction to their earnings. They're gapping down to like 130s or so. Microsoft looks strong. Yeah, I'm in ARM right now, but I'm kind of flat in it. I'm not like up a lot. Bitcoin's still at 34K. Let's see if it holds Microsoft. Yeah, Microsoft's still doing well. Microsoft killed it with their earnings yesterday, too. We got Boeing earnings dropping today, and then we got building permit data dropping at we got a lot of stuff today, man. Not that much stuff this morning. Like, we got Boeing earnings and some other stuff, but we got Boeing earnings and some other stuff this morning. But then let me check the schedule. We got Boeing earnings this morning. We got some other earnings, but the real busy stuff comes specifically for, we got building permits in about an hour. Boeing drops their numbers in about 30 minutes. NBA mortgage rates came out again higher than expected at 7.9%. We got the Bank of Canada interest rate decision later on at 10 a.m. this morning. We got Powell speaking at 4:35 this morning. I think he's doing like the opening remarks or something. So, yeah. And then tomorrow is a big day where we got GDP expected at 4.7. Big day for GDP data tomorrow. It was Wesley, Alvin, Ricky, Oleg, Sam, Jay, SC, Beach Bum. What's up, dude? Alan, Fares. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing it. Trading, Arif, Alan, Raul. What's up, team? Microsoft's still looking strong, though. It's still pushing up. We're still in it, too. We've been holding it. But, again, vote on the poll. We're going to do a poll. Are you bullish or bearish on Boeing earnings? Bull, bear. We could also do another poll. This is going to be a quick little poll that we do. But vote. It's going to be a great day. I hope so. I haven't even hit my coffee yet, so let me take a sip. Yeah, I hope it's a great day, man. Put it out there into the world. You can see Microsoft gap it up again. Google had earnings yesterday. Didn't really react. They weren't bad earnings. We think that their cloud revenue came in a little disappointing, and so that's why they're dropping so much. But Google also has had a really solid year. If you look at Google, the year has been pretty solid over the last 52 weeks. It was at $83 in November of last year, and now it's at $140. So I mean, it's doing pretty nice over the last year straight. So a pullback is not a super shock or anything like that, just because a lot of the time extension is real and it plays out. What's up, Marius? Yeah, so Texas versus the D-backs. I think it'll be an easy W for the Texas team, for the Rangers. I mean, I like the D-backs. They got like Ketel Marte. They've got Christian Walker. They've got like Gurriel, not the real Gurriel, but the Gurriel brother or cousin or whatever he is. And then who else do they have, man? I gotta check. It's been a while. So yeah, they've got Evan Longoria. He's good. Corbin Carroll. He's good. Definitely not a stacked team. I would say like the Rangers are. I would say the Rangers are certainly more stacked than D-backs right now. If you look at the Rangers, Rangers got Corey Seager, Marcus Semien, Adolis Garcia. Those are some pretty big stars there. The other guys are, I'm not saying the other guys are worse than these guys, but these are just the more well-known. Nathaniel Lowe, Jonah Heim. So I mean, the Rangers I think are a little bit more stacked, although they're okay. I think the Rangers are going to take it though. At least I hope they do. You're pilling on Teladoc, still growing 8% earnings solid. Only guide miss, but stock go down. Strange. Yeah, I think people understand the risks of Teladoc. I think Teladoc had its day back in 2020 when that stuff first got really big and when people stopped going to the doctor, right? So I think you have to look at a lot of these stocks. I think you got to look at a lot of these stocks under the guise of what happened in 2020 relative to now, right? So like when you look at Teladoc, think about this logic. Okay, so I'm going to give you the logic behind this, right? So Teladoc got really big during the pandemic when everybody was at home, right? So everybody's at home, they don't want to go to the actual doctor because they're scared of getting sick, right? And so what do? They start going to these online doctors, causing this big surge, in 2020 or 2021 where it reached $308 a share, big surge for Teladoc. But you got to understand, like, this is too extended. Like, this was never going to hold. It went from $9 in 2016 to $308 in 2020. It's not a big enough company for this to really hold these gains like that. Like, it's not worth $300 a share. And I think a lot of people understood that. And so over time, at first everybody was fearing this, basically thinking that we were going to be in like a delayed, sustained 2020. Moving forward throughout the next few years, it was going to be like 2020, but things bounced back pretty quickly from everything that happened. And so things bounced back pretty quickly. The standard of care changed, and over time, that just made a lot of investors start taking profit in Teladoc, and thus we start dipping back down, and now we're at $18 a share. And I think that's probably where it should be. Again, I'm not saying it's not like a crazy good business. What I'm saying is, like, when you understand these online doctor services, right? They're very hesitant to write antibiotics because most of the time, like, the time that my family has used these services is to try to get antibiotics for like my son, or try to get antibiotics for one of us. They don't give narcotics, and so some people are going to search for narcotics with these. But again, what we always tried to use them for was antibiotics, right? Like, my son's sick, we know he's got a cough, we want to give him precautionary antibiotics, and just kind of make sure it's not a bad infection or whatever. But they're really hesitant to give it, and to some degree maybe it's good for them to be like that because you don't want antibiotic resistance. But yeah, in that regard, it was just never going to hold $300, so like since then it's understandably corrected all the way back down again as the standard of care has changed. They're just very limited in what you can get from Teladoc. Like, what you can get from Teladoc in terms of like prescription care is very limited, right? So if you're not able to get antibiotics and you're not able to get mostly other stuff, and you're basically going to get over-the-counter prescriptions written to you, which is what most of the time happens. Like, most of the time you use these services, they write you over-the-counter prescriptions to say, oh, go get some Mucinex, go get some, whatever. And so it's just useless. And so somebody uses them once, I'm pretty sure the bounce rate is pretty freaking high, that people stop using them because they're just not worth it. They just don't do anything useful. You're paying $100 to have a doctor tell you to go take some, over-the-counter cough medicine. It's just wasted time and money. And I think that's going to limit the size of their business as well. But maybe I'm wrong. I don't like Teladoc. I think there's risks for sure. But maybe I'm wrong. We can look at the SPY today. SPY at 420s. We've been right around 420s for a minute now. I mean, NASCAR, I'd love to take credit. I just Googled it, bro. I'd love to take credit, brother. Listen, I would love to say that I knew all this. Listen, out of the Diamondbacks, I mean, I did know, I did know Evan Longoria, Corbin Carroll. I know they had Gurriel's brother, not the Gurriel from the Astros that was on the Astros team a while back, but his like brother, right? I knew Christian Walker. I know Gabriel Marino. And I know Geraldo Perdomo as well, right? So I know those players, but I did look it up to get some, reminders of it. But but I appreciate it. I like baseball. I watch baseball. I follow it for sure. Yeah, Boeing drops their numbers today. Boeing is expected to show up at. This is a busy day, man. We're not going to have much time to do anything else. Boeing is expected a loss of $3.21 per share on $18.27 billion. So Boeing's expecting a pretty big loss per share today. We also have Hilton, T-Mobile. We got some other stuff. T-Mobile's already out. T-Mobile posted a 182 EPS. I'm not sure what their revenue was, but a 182 EPS. Let me see. So T-Mobile, still waiting for Boeing, but T-Mobile's out. Thermo Fisher's out. Hilton is out as well. We're just kind of waiting for Boeing to drop. So again, T-Mobile ended up posting EPS of 182, beat the 174 estimates. Revenue missed. Revenue came in at 19.25 versus 19.32 estimates. So T-Mobile missed rev, beat EPS. Thermo Fisher posted 550 or 569 EPS, beat the 561 estimates. Sales missed. So a lot of EPS beats, missed sales. A lot of these are reporting guidance as well. So we'll see. Here's T-Mobile. If you want to see how it potentially reacted here, here's T-Mobile. Didn't really react much so far. There's Boeing. Building permits probably, I don't know how much they're going to move anything, to be honest. We'll see. I hope they do. Is Abbott a good buy? I don't trust Abbott Laboratories. The problem with Abbott, it's a healthy stock. Okay, so this is one of the biggest anti-cannabis lobbying corporations in the world. So this is one of the biggest anti-cannabis lobbying corporations in the world. Good long-term chart, bad yearly chart. So, I don't know what we're going to do. Hey, what's up, Han? All good, dude. All good, man. Yeah, so, yeah, green mucus. Yeah, for sure. What's up, Brim? GameStop. I don't know, man. Again, the problem with GameStop is that nobody can tell me how they're going to survive long term. They're not going to be able to stay where they're at now. Like GameStop is not going to be able to do what they're doing now for much longer. Like GameStop is not really going to be able to sustain their current business model because people aren't going to buy physical copies of video games from them anymore. And so that's a huge chunk of their business. Specifically, like you have to understand GameStop, the marketplace aspect where people buy used games from them is dwindling heavily, like super heavily, right? And so that's the problem with GameStop, and nobody's giving me a fix for it, So like GameStop is not going to be able to, continue to operate their current business model for much longer. And so what that means is that they need to pivot their business, and they haven't yet. We haven't really heard anything yet. My guess is that they're just going to ride it out and, give CEO bonuses and eventually file for bankruptcy is my guess. Yeah, for sure, Pawn. Hey, what's up, William? Yeah, the D-backs are good, man. They're an 84 win team, you know what I mean, or 83, or I don't care, or 88. I can't remember how they had 80 something wins, so they did not have a lot of wins because like a good season of baseball is like 100 win. It's kind of like pretty good. This team had 80 something wins, so this was one of the worst teams in the playoffs, and it's crazy because the Dodgers lost, the Braves lost, the Diamondbacks made it to the World Series. The Astros lost. But hey, listen, I'm for it, man. Let them win, Let them win. I hope they lose to the Rangers, even though the Rangers beat my Astros. But I'm in Texas, so I guess I'm rooting for the Texas team. Yeah, it's surprising GameStop is still open. I just don't know what I don't know what they're doing. They can't have very much foot traffic anymore, man. The only good location for GameStop is maybe in the mall, right? Like in the mall, maybe people are going to go and see it. You know, I've been getting really into these catfish videos, bro. And like, dude, some of these people, like I watched this catfish video. It's on this YouTube channel called Catfished. Highly entertaining. I don't even know if it's real, but it's freaking highly entertaining. But like, dude, who believes this? Like, you had this old lady. You can tell some of them are just straight up narcissistic, right? Like some of these people are just so narcissistic that the scammer, like they're like romance scanners, right? So a lot of these people are like so narcissistic that romance scammers use it against them. So they tell them how great they are. They're like, "Oh, you're so great. You know, you're so hot. You know, you're so pretty." And it's like, bro, what? Like, they had a lady that thought that she was in a relationship with Johnny Depp, like in a real relationship with Johnny Depp, right? And like Johnny Depp sold her an NFT for 6,000, and so she sent him 6,000 for the NFT, and then they just never sent the NFT back. And they're like, "Yeah, I'm Johnny Depp." All you got to do is be like, "Yo, I'm Johnny Depp," and she's like, "Oh, okay, Johnny Depp. Look, there he is." You know, and I feel bad because like I feel bad, but like at the same time, these people are being kind of dumb, dude. Like, how do you like, dude? Somebody messages me, they can say they're whomever. They can say they're whoever. I don't know. I'm not gonna believe them. But this dude just messaged this lady and was just like, "Yo, I'm Johnny Depp." And she was like, "Oh, okay. You know, hey, send me $6,000 for an NFT." Okay, done. You know, $6,000 sent. Never even got the NFT. You know, and then she's like, "Oh yeah, you know, I'm with this girl right now, and you know, I'm having relationship problems. You know, they froze my bank account. Can you send me $1,000 in gift cards?" They say. It's like, what? You think Johnny Depp is having bank troubles? He needs you to send him $1,000 in gift cards, lady? Like, think about it. You know, but again, I think my theory is that they're narcissistic, and so they pander to that narcissism. They say, "Oh, look, you're so great," and they make the person truly believe it, to where they're thinking they're really in a relationship with Johnny Depp. Thing's crazy, but it's highly entertaining. You know, the worst part is like this lady had like a husband who's like sitting on the side. Highly entertaining. I'll watch all this stuff with my daughter. And so the good news is that my daughter is never going to get catfished by some dude online. And that's good. Is PayPal good now? PayPal's down a lot. I don't know. It just depends on what PayPal does. I think PayPal's kind of having like an inverse correlation with crypto. Good morning, Jay. As little as I go in, maybe once or twice a year, our GameStop is fairly busy. And I'm not going during a Zelda system launch, but it's a very dense area, so maybe not the best representation. An obligatory and well-deserved thank you. Hey, thank you, guys. Right, for sure, Kevin. The whole thing's crazy, you know? Bro, like, I don't know how many people message me. Like, dude, like, honestly, I'm just not dumb. Like, I don't know how many people message me that look like pretty girls, and they're like, hey, my name's Samantha. How are you? And I just never even respond because it's like, bro, like, you're not Samantha. You're some 50-year-old dude named Bob. Okay? Like, get out of my inbox, dude. Like, if y'all think y'all are going to trick me into doing some dumb stuff, like, I basically ignore anybody that messaged me. I don't care what you look like. You know, you're not getting me to respond to you, you know? Like, even, I'll tell you this, like, even if there's like a pretty girl in the YouTube chat, like, I'll communicate with them, but most of the time I'm very short with them because half the time they're probably just a nonsense alt account name, like a fake account. Not all of them, but like I would say a lot of them are just kind of, you know, strangers that are just creating those accounts trying to get more engagement. I don't know. Maybe I've seen too much catfish. I get 5 DMs from hot celebrities every week trying to have a relationship with me. I know, man. Listen, who knew? Anyways, PayPal down a lot. You know, a lot. Let's see if it holds. Is that $53 a share? Boeing's supposed to drop their numbers in about 11 minutes. But I have to think it's Darwinism to a certain extent, though. And I know there's like an age factor where it's like some of these people are just really old, and so they are just naive to the internet, right? Like they don't know how easy. A lot of them need to watch Catfish, the show, because my daughter and I's show was like Catfish. Like we love that show. We watched it together. It's like our bonding show, So like we're naturally super skeptical now, but a lot of them need to watch that show. Anyways, PayPal at $53. I don't know, man. PayPal, I'm torn. It's such a big company and it does a service and it's useful. It has good utility, but over time, crypto seems to take some of that market share away from it. Is the only problem. SPY push it up a little bit, but down on the day is up to 422.50s. Does Boeing market report affect Forex? It'll probably affect the S&P and the NASDAQ, which might affect Forex. All right, guys, we got 10 minutes. 10 minutes. Since Boeing is supposed to be a loss, won't that mean its stock will tank? Not necessarily. A lot of the time they you get kind of front loading into Boeing, ahead of it, right? So if you look at a 20-day period, it's down pretty big over the last 20 days, most likely from people expecting the loss to come in. And so maybe, if we do, it's not relative to what the numbers actually are, though, so like it's not relative to what the numbers are. It's relative to the expectations. And so even if we put in a loss on EPS and revenue or whatever, or a loss on EPS, if it comes out much better than expected and then has good guidance, it's still probably going to push up. Let's see if it's out right. Yeah, ready. All right, so CME Group, Moody's, both dropped earnings. Moody's beat EPS, beat revenue slightly, reaffirmed fiscal year guidance. CME Group posted 225 EPS, better than expected. Missed revenue, though. Amount of average daily trade volume is at 22.35 million versus 21.93 million expected, so higher than expected average daily trade volume. Roper Tech posted better than expected EPS. Revenue beat. Raised fiscal year guidance. Raised revenue growth for the fiscal year, 14%. Still waiting for Boeing, though. I use Quant Tower, Raul, and TOS. Yeah, I'm not judging. I just think, like, look, man, if you're a 60-year-old lady or a 60-year-old dude, like, if you're a 60-year-old lady or a dude and you've got some 35-year-old celebrity reach out to you that says somebody that says they're a celebrity, right? If you get somebody that claims to be a celebrity reaches out to you, yet they refuse to video chat with you, they refuse to talk to you on the phone, and they start asking you for gift card money, like, I don't even know what to say, but they're hilarious to watch. That's for sure. All right, guys, Boeing. Where's RTX at? Did RTX keep pushing up? Yeah. Didn't hold, but we took most of the profit off there anyway, so that's good. Boeing's supposed to drop theirs in about 6 minutes. And so let's wait for Boeing. You see Boeing right here on the right side. It's at 184s. It's supposed to drop theirs in about 6 minutes. All right, so Cattell Marte won the NLCS MVP. All right, guys. All right, guys. So Boeing earnings supposed to drop in like 3 minutes here. Again, they're expecting a loss per share for sure. Looking at our poll numbers here, 57% are bullish, 43% are bearish. We got a lot of stuff dropping today, man. It's one of those really busy evening days. Morning's kind of slow. We got building permits in like an hour. Mornings are kind of slow, but or no, we got building permits in like 30 minutes actually. So building permits are actually at like 8 a.m. But again, they're not really like a huge release. But like this morning, we got building permits, other stuff. And then this evening, we got Jerome Powell and Meta earnings. And then tomorrow, we got Amazon. Tomorrow, we got GDP jobless claims. All right, guys. So y'all can hear the music, correct? You should be able to. Did anybody see this freaking the robot? Bro, so there's like this jujitsu training dummy called the robot. And at first I was like, ooh, it's really cool. And then I look at the price, it's like $5,000, bro. Who's about to pay $5K for a freaking jujitsu dummy, dude? Not me. All right, so waiting for Boeing here, nothing yet. You'll see it move. Boeing's kind of volatile right now. I'm going to put up a 1-minute chart so we can watch this a little bit more clearly. It's at 184s right now. Again, they're expecting a pretty decent loss per share. We'll see what happens. All right, guys. So, all right. Waiting for Boeing numbers. They should drop in 15 minutes. That's when they're scheduled to drop. You can see the SPY on the right. Let's care. What you doing? Here, Boeing just dropped their earnings, baby, so I have to cover it. I'm sorry. Boeing just posted EPS of 326. They expected a loss of 296. So way bigger loss than expected for Boeing. Revenue of 18.1 billion. They expected 18.01. So higher than expected revenue. Much bigger loss for Boeing than expected. We're going to put the numbers up on chat right there, but a much larger loss than expected for Boeing. Look, there's the numbers right there in chat. They are dipping down here, retracing a little bit though. So they dipped all the way to 180 and then they bounced up to 182. And so, you know, they dipped a little bit, they bounced back. But again, so Boeing 326 loss per share versus 296 loss per share expected. Revenue of 18.1 billion versus 18.01 billion. So a beat on revenue, miss on EPS. And they also put out a plan to ramp the 787 production rate to 38 a month by the end of the year. All right, guys. So yeah, Boeing, big miss. Honestly, they're kind of reacting favorably to this, though. You know, honestly, which is kind of weird because what I saw, I thought the estimate for a loss on Boeing was 321. You know, and so them saying the estimate was 296, I was showing a different one for sure. Now I'm looking at the rest of Boeing's numbers. Third quarter commercial airline revenue was 7.9 billion. They put a third quarter loss per share of 270, third quarter loss of 1.64 billion. Commercial airplane deliveries are down 6%. Adjusted loss per share is 326 a share, like we said. Global services revenue came in at 4.8 billion. Boeing reacting positively here. Commercial airline deliveries came in at 1.105. Third quarter revenue came higher than expected. Backlog of 469.18 billion for the third quarter. Boeing reacting positively here, which is weird. All right, so we did bounce up a little bit. The SPY's at 422.6. All right, so Boeing up at 186 here. So they put out program plans to increase to 10 a month in 2025 and 26. Again, so their supplier nonconformance identified on AFT pressure bulkhead section of certain 737 airlines during the third quarter. The 787 program still expects to deliver 70 to 80 planes in this year. It's not manipulation. Again, you guys got to understand, Boeing was already down heavily leading into this earnings report. You know, so it's not as easy. Like earnings are simply not as easy as waiting for a company to have a big loss and shorting it, or waiting for a company to have a big beat and longing it. It's just not that easy. It's just not that easy. So it's just not that easy to make money. It's not that easy to be correct about this type of stuff. All right, so then they reaffirm their guidance. So maybe this is helping them as well. So Boeing reaffirmed their fiscal year guidance. Again, they posted 4.5 billion to 6.5 billion of operating cash flow. They see 3 billion to 5 billion non-GAAP, which is generally accepted accounting principle free cash flow. Again, I'm gonna put these numbers up here. So right there, Boeing 737 near-term deliveries and production impacted as program performs inspections rework. But yeah, look at Boeing start to rip. It's at 187s. We'll see if it holds. You can slap that like button if you haven't yet, team. We appreciate it. All right, so the estimated costs associated with rework immaterial included in third quarter results. So that's affecting these results. Boeing up. No immediate safety or flight issue. In-service fleet can continue operating safely, according to Boeing here. Well, yeah, they reaffirmed their future guidance. So again, Boeing now expects to deliver 375 to 400 737 planes this year. And again, I think the delivery expectations are popping this thing up. Again, we're almost up to 188s. You guys got to understand, it's not just EPS considerations. Like, it's not just EPS. Like, there's a lot of considerations to have with it. And so, there's a lot of stuff to consider. Also, did y'all hear John Jones got hurt? So John Jones out of his Stipe fight. Now it's going to be Sergey Pavlovich versus Tom Aspinall. All right, guys. So, any idea where the market reacted so severely on Google last night? I think it was their cloud margins. I think their cloud revenue came in disappointing. So I think their cloud revenue came in disappointing for them yesterday. I think that's what happened. But it's speculable. I'm not sure. So Google. Let me see what their cloud rev was. I'm pretty sure that's what it was, though. Yeah, so their cloud revenue, so Google cloud revenue, you can see came in at 8.41 bill versus the estimate of 8.63. So cloud revenue came in light. I'm pretty sure that's what caused the dip. What we had some other earnings. I mean, none of them were crazy. Boeing. Here, I'm going to put this number up on screen because that's basically what's going down with Boeing right now. The other earnings we got, building permits just dropped early, I guess. So building permits just came out. They came in at 1.471 million. So I guess building permits came out early. I'll put those numbers in chat. Microsoft, yeah, I mean, we covered Microsoft yesterday. Microsoft numbers were right here. They came in at 299 EPS versus 265, revenue of 56.56 billion. So I think building permits are already out though. So we'll see. Yeah, all good, Vonda. Yeah, Microsoft's up big. Where do you see the SPY by the end of the year? I'm not sure. You know, I think anything could happen with the SPY. It just depends on which way it heads. Nobody really knows. So let's make this post. So yeah, most things beat on EPS, but missed on rev. Boeing missed. Yeah, we'll replace that. And then let's look at Twitter. Haven't glanced at it much this morning. All right, so others include T-Mobile, Thermo Fisher. Thermo Fisher is TMO, right? Let me see. Yeah, Hilton. Hilton posted BDPS missed revenue. No, Hilton posted neutral EPS, beat on revenue. And we got GD, General Dynamics. We had some of the other ones. Hess just recently dropped. Or bond yields this morning. We had Moody's, CME Group. That's basically it. All right, so we're gonna make a post on Twitter. All right, if you guys want to get kind of a recap of all the big earnings that dropped, here's my Twitter post. So if you follow me on Twitter, you know, we cover most of the big earnings that drop daily. And so if you follow me there, you can catch it. You know, if you want to see that link, again, hit the like button. Give me a follow on Twitter. Here's the link. Amazon, can SEC or can the SEC or I mean, none of them are going to do it, Oleg. He's probably not breaking the rules. My guess is he's not going to talk about markets. So that's my guess today. I'm pretty sure he is just going to be given like the introductory remarks and something. So my guess is he's not even going to talk about the markets. But let me look this up a little bit in more detail. Yeah, we are in the blackout period, though, so he's technically not supposed to speak. Yeah, so Powell was careful. Yeah, so he's going to be speaking today at the 2023 Moynihan Lecture in Social Science and Public Policy in Washington, D.C. He's going to give very brief introductory remarks. Powell did the Economic Club of New York last week. He said the U.S. central bank system is most likely going to maintain the rates that they're currently at during this next meeting. So they're going to skip or pause or whatever you want to call it. But he did say they might potentially raise rates moving forward. But I don't think he's probably going to talk about the market. Again, he's going to give brief introductory remarks today. Hugh trying to pull back. Yeah, Boeing kind of helping the market right now. Like it's dragging the market up, but I do see a SPY dip. So SPY dipping. CB Group is down. Amazon. And hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, guys. We got over 100 people here. Again, I think building permit data just dropped too. So I'm pretty sure building permits just came out already. The only other thing we got is new home sales. But I'm pretty sure building permits just released early. So I'm pretty sure building permits just released. I'm pretty sure they came in at 1.471 million versus 1.473 million expected, and minus 4.5%. You're gonna put this number up in chat right there. So we'll see. Yeah, hit that like button on that tweet if you want. All right, so yeah, SEC charged BOK with failing to disclose investments yesterday. All right, guys. Hey, so building permits already out. Boeing all the way up to basically 190s right now, helping the market a little bit here too. Yeah, hit the like button. Yeah, later today. I mean, yesterday we had over 1,000 people here for Google earnings. We had like 700 people here for Microsoft earnings. You know, Jerome Powell meeting. We'll have over 1,000 people here. The question is for me is how I'm going to cover both. How am I going to cover both Meta earnings as well as the Powell speech today is the real question. Like, how am I going to cover Meta earnings and the Powell speech? So Meta earnings are scheduled to release here. You see exactly what time everything's playing out. Like if there's some time in between, I could probably cover both, but it'll be tricky, but we'll give it a shot. So again, Powell. Okay, so I could probably cover both. I'd have to cover Meta's release. What I'd have to do is cover Meta's release at 3 p or at 4 p.m. market time. We're at the closing bell today because Meta earnings are released. I'm pretty sure at 4. So yeah, Meta earnings released at 4:05, and then this speech is 30 minutes later. So I can cover Meta earnings for the speech. I can cover Meta earnings when they drop at 4:05, and then pivot to Jerome Powell, and then pivot to and then pivot back to Meta for the earnings call afterwards, and just kind of redirect everybody there so they kind of go back and forth. That's the only plan I have right now. The other option would be to just skip one, either Jerome Powell. If I did skip one, it would be Jerome Powell, because Powell's probably not going to say anything about the actual market today. He's probably just going to talk about history or whatever. It's probably not going to be supermarket related, and so I think Meta earnings are a little bit more important here relative to Powell's brief remarks this morning. That's my guess here. And again, that's if I do anything, that's probably what we'll do. Or if I skip one, that's probably what we're going to do. I'd love to try to cover both, but Meta earnings usually get pretty good, pretty good interest and views, so what do you guys think? Yeah, they can choose when they release earnings. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I mean, Darren, that's the nature of earnings, though. So that's the nature of earnings, in which, like, again, earnings, the way earnings work is it's just not that easy to predict, man. And like that's what a lot of people have to realize, is that earnings are just not that simple to predict. I wish they were. Like, I wish earnings were easy to predict, and I wish you could just wait for a company to report a beat on EPS, a beat on revenue, a beat on guidance, and just buy the dip or whatever it is and then profit. I wish it was that easy to make money in the stock market. But again, you'll notice a very common theme in the stock market, which is they don't make it easy on you to make money. It's not easy to make money at all. The only big edge you ever really have is long-term value investing, researching healthy companies with low PE ratios and good revenue. And then buying and sitting on those blue chip companies, those large market cap companies for years. That's the biggest edge you'll ever get in the markets. I talked about it on Top Step TV yesterday. Biggest edge you'll ever get is long-term upside. You can short. I short every day. I short pretty regularly on the downside. I buy, I day trade. I do all this different stuff. But the most guaranteed edge is on the long-term side. Yeah, let me end this current poll here. On the Boeing earnings. Also, hit the like button. All right. We're going to do a poll. Would you rather me stream Powell's remarks or Meta's earnings call? Let me know what you guys think. GDP tomorrow. Yeah, I'd rather him do it in the evening because it gives me more to cover. The mornings are cool, but I'd rather him do it in the evening. It just gives me more to cover. All right, so again, the SPY right at a pretty good bounce level here. All right, guys. So we did get a pounce. There's Boeing. Looking at our numbers here so far, 56% of people say Powell, which is surprising because Powell's probably not going to talk about economics team. He's probably not going to talk about economics. The other option is I could try to cover both, although I don't know how well that's going to go. It's going to be too split. But what I could do is cover both and then just redirect everybody to the meta stream after Powell's speeches. That's an option too. And Powell's probably the bigger draw for my viewers, but less market important, in my opinion. I just don't think he's going to say anything about the economy. Yeah, they're just doing it in extended hours. So, they're just trying to make sure it's extended hours. And there might be more volume in morning, but I don't know. Again, slap that like button, guys. We got 84 likes. Thoughts on PayPal today's dip makes it rather interesting. It's all right. I mean, again, I'm okay with PayPal long term. I'm just also, I don't know. We'll see. I'm in PayPal, but I also think there's risks too. I think it's vulnerable. When you see third quarter GDP growth accelerating from 1 to 2.5 to 4.2, it says all about earnings. Yeah, or inflation, which might be earnings as well. Good luck, Ed. All right, so why should Boeing again? We're at an interesting bounce level, in my opinion. So it looks like we're at a good little spot for potential bounces, although I'm not 100% sure, in all honesty. Here, let me see. What do you think about Google? I think Google's up a lot and it's pulling back some now too. So I think Google's up a lot, but it's now kind of dipping down some, and that's okay. It doesn't mean it's weak. Yeah, crypto's interesting. Look at the Q bouncing here. So I do. What do we do? Okay, there we go. Hmm. All right, guys. So, yeah, I could try. We'll see. I could try to stream both. You know. All right, Q getting the 8 a.m. scrum, and again, building permits are already out. I would cover them, and again, they've already been out. They've been out all morning already. They came out like 20 minutes ago for building permits, and so I'll post them here just because they're already out. The building permits already released. Again, they showed up at 1.471 million. There's the building permit numbers right there. Yeah, most of the time we get an inverse correlation with the Dixie. So most of the time that's kind of what we get. I think you're the only person on YouTube that does this. Does what? Hey, I appreciate you, bro. I mean, we try. Like, we give people free market data. That's what we do, you know. And that's my job. I just want to report free market data for everybody, you know. All right, team. So let's see what else we got, team. A lot of alerts. Let's take a look at the E-mini, see what's showing up. Look at the SPY rip right at that 200 EMA level. This is what I watched. This is what, like, I was on Top Step TV yesterday, and they asked me kind of about my strategies. 200 EMA, my favorite indicator without question. 200 EMA. Let me rephrase it. 200 EMA and the VWAP. Really nice indicator, to be honest. All right, so look at the SPY still bouncing back up a little bit too. See, I want to backtest chart prime. One thing I love using the regular E-mini. What about the SPY itself? I mean, it's basically the same thing, but like, check that. I haven't really checked the Dow. SPY actually pretty much looks the same. Looks good. Looks like it works. What about Dow? I'm just kind of back testing some of these chart prime indicators. Look at that big bounce on the SPY. Boeing's still moving up, still trying to head up at least. Can we put 4 windows up with it actually working? I think so. Nice. We got the S&P, the NASDAQ, the Dow. What other one should we use? Use oil. I wonder if it works on oil. What's oil CL? I could also use individual stocks, although I haven't really checked those recently. Oil pushing up, crude oil. Let's just be patient then and wait. All right, so again, we had building permits already drop like crude steel. No, I'm not going to stream them at the same time, Sam. I was just on Top Step show yesterday. All right, so we got a little mini dip here. We'll try to scalp this. Get a big pop. Yeah, you can kind of see we're scalping the regular NASDAQ here on Top Step. I'm going to go ahead and cut that. So we just locked in a little bit more. Hey, thanks, Eric. I appreciate it. Yeah, the Top Step sign up's pretty easy. Again, they're a sponsor of mine. I'm certainly biased in their favor because they pay me money, but it's just useful. Again, I use like a mix of a couple different systems when I use them, but I think the risk system I talk about makes perfect sense. It's something that I'm very open about, my risk system. You know, again, what I essentially do is I try to build up a cushion first on the day. You know, if I can build up a cushion, I'm happy with that. So as long as I can build up a cushion, that's when I'm ready to you know, keep really pushing, keep trading. I talked about it on the show yesterday. I don't really trade super large. I mean, I always have moments of weakness in my trading. I think everybody does, right? Like everybody always has some moments of weakness. You know what I mean? But with me, I try not to trade really large until I have that cushion. You know, once I have that cushion, that's when I really start to scale up my size much more. And that's when I'm really able to, you know, that's when I'm really able to take larger risks. And if I don't have that cushion, like I need to build up $100 to $200 in profit on the day first and foremost. And when I build that profit, like when I build the first profit on the day, I trade small. You know, if I'm trading futures, I trade like one contract of the E-mini, maybe micros, you know, and so I'm trading very small to where if I lose and I haven't built up a cushion, it's a small loss, right? And if I end up losing over like $200 or $300, I just kind of walk away and I'm done and I don't have to stress about it anymore. I'm just like, okay, it's a losing day on this account. And that's all right. You know, because what ultimately happens is that when I build up that cushion, if I can build it, if I'm successful in building the cushion, if I can build up a couple $100 cushion, that's when I'm like, okay, well, I have this cushion now. Now I'm allowed. And so before that, I'm not even allowed to trade like that. After that, I'm allowed to take larger size. After that, I'm allowed to take larger risks. After that, I'm allowed to scale up my size. And so I can take a NASDAQ trade after that if I want. I can take more than one contract of the S&P E-mini or something like that. And then that way, if I lose, I'm break even. I'm back to square one. But if I actually make money, then I'm making much more money. So then I've got a much larger win on the day. And then I can do the same thing. I can say, okay, well, do I want to take more risks now? And if I do great, if it's a good day, if it's a green day, sure. Sometimes I'll keep pushing. If it's a red day or if it's a choppy day and I just got lucky, sometimes I might just say, all right, and bow out for the day. And, that's how you get these big wins, but small losses on the day. And you just kind of compound that over and over again. That's essentially what I do. Works really well. And I hope that makes sense. It's just, it makes a lot of sense. And again, if you want to check out Top Step, which is a funded account program in futures, a lot of people struggle to pass these challenges. Here's the link. Check it out. Great way to help support the channel. Appreciate the love. How do you feel about Tesla? Tesla's interesting, although Tesla's weak the last couple of days, though. Pushed up some yesterday, I think. But yeah, it's at 216. Tesla's just weak right now. I just don't trust it. This big dip, disappointing Cybertruck outlook. Cybertruck's coming out November 30th, so it's coming out in like a month from now, right? But disappointing outlook in terms of margins for the Cybertruck and profitability. And so I think Tesla's probably going to be fine long term, although you never really know. So I think it'll probably be fine long term, but I think there's also risks in it. There's a chance it might not, but it's probably going to be fine long term. And there's also a possible thing in which maybe Elon could be pushing this down, because this mostly dropped because disappointing Cybertruck outlook. Right. Elon said in his first couple sentences of that earnings call, the Cybertruck was not going to produce the margins that were going to reflect in the company for years. And so in that regard, it's possible that Elon pushed this down and started buying it up, understanding that November 30th is when the Cybertruck goes live. And so if that's the case, maybe he's buying up some cheaper shares. Maybe not, though. Maybe it's just genuinely weak. Both are very possible, too. Yeah, Microsoft. Yeah, we're looking at Microsoft. Again, we got Boeing's numbers. You can kind of see Boeing's numbers right here. Microsoft's starting to rip back up too. It's at 346s. There's Boeing on the right, still at over 180s. Hey, thank you for the dono. Thanks for the $5. Now, so removal of broad array of sanctions. Yeah, I mean, oil, I'm not sure what's going on in oil, to be completely honest, Chris. I'm just not really a big oil trader, if I'm being honest. Like, I don't really trade oil a lot. What I do watch is oil in terms of like Exxon Mobil. And again, this year you can see it's been pretty split, been pretty flat. If we look at like /CL, you can kind of see what CL is doing. They've mostly been dropping after a pretty big run since June. So like oil has kind of counter trended the market itself. So here's the SPY, right? And then here's oil. So I guess it's not too different. But the problems overseas have caused oil recently to become higher in price and valued higher because of potential scarcity from the conflicts overseas, right? Like that's one nuance of oil prices recently. Now, the stuff about Venezuela, I'm really not sure. I appreciate the donation, but I'm always going to be honest about it. In terms of like Venezuela seems like a small cap company or country, like not a very large company that's going to have a lot of influence over oil prices. But maybe I'm wrong, Chris. And if I am wrong, anybody in chat, let me know. If I am wrong, let me know. Oh, I'm not sure about current strength and economic outlook on. I'm not sure. They used to be super wealthy until. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure, Chris. I'm not really following that stuff too heavily, brother. But I appreciate the donation, brother. Thanks so much. Hold on, I gotta say bye to my kids. Hey, bud, how you doing, man? All right, my son's telling me to unmute it. All right, you're unmuted, bro. What is it?
I'm gonna end the video.
You're not gonna end the video.
I'm gonna end it.
No, I wish my monitor was a touch screen, but it's not.
Aww.
Yep. Boom. Love you. Have a good day, buddy.
Okay.
Love you, bud.
Love you.
Y'all have a good day. Love you. All right. Yeah. Yeah, oil's been pushing up a lot. But again, I'm not really following oil a lot. I don't really watch oil. It's not really a market that I heavily watch or to be honest, keep track of, aside from the macroeconomic implications of oil prices. Like I don't really watch crude oil inventories or anything like that. The prices too heavily. I hold a little bit of Exxon and I'm green on my Exxon trade. But Exxon and other stocks like it have been very volatile recently with the stuff going on overseas. So yeah, it's all good. I'm just kind of used to it. They can, as long as he's in a good mood, I'm okay with it, you know. All right, team. So again, SPY, Boeing, still watching it here. SPY started to push back up. It's at 423. Still pretty flat couple days though on the SPY there right now though. Yeah, building permit data is already out. All right, so we got Boeing earnings, we had building permits. What else did we have today? We got Bank of Canada interest rate decision. We got new home sales dropping later today. Maybe that'll influence stuff too. Building permits already out. NBA mortgage rates shot up, so they pushed up heavily too. All right, so yeah, we got so we'll cover the Canada interest rate. Yeah, so all right, so yeah, we had Microsoft, Google, a bunch of other stuff. Boeing numbers, building permits are out. Google earnings yesterday. Alphabet earnings, of course. I don't understand why Amazon is not going through the roof. Surely they will even be. Amazon's tomorrow, so Amazon earnings. A lot of the time, stocks are slow. Amazon's probably just reacting to tech, which Microsoft ripped up yesterday. Google dipped down yesterday, but they both beat EPS and sales and had better than expected results. Maybe regarding Venezuela, I'm not sure, to be honest. I think there's a lot of struggles. I think there's a lot of struggles regarding, South America. There's a lot of unknowns as well. So I'm just, so we got about 400 people here. NVIDIA earnings are in like a month from now. I believe they're like November 21st, I think is when NVIDIA earnings are. I'm not 100% sure. I think that's what they are. Right, for sure, Chris. That's the risks, is that it's too unstable there for me to really feel confident in investing any heavy amounts. 400 SPY end of month ain't happening now. We got 5 business days. Yeah, I mean, SPY ain't hitting 400 this month. I mean, it could. It's just unlikely. I mean, we could. I mean, again, if it's going to happen, this month is very volatile and crazy, and so we got big earnings dropping this month. So, it is what it is. But, yeah, we got big earnings coming out this month. All right, team. All right, so we're getting a little dip here on the SPY. I'm trying to watch these indicators a little bit more. Here's the Dow. See if we can pivot to the Dow here. YMZ3. Pick one contract of the Dow short. We already got a cushion. How much did the Dow move? Only 5. All right, so we did get a little bounce up on the let me see what else we got. Does anyone know if someone from US can buy physical foreign currency with the actual exchange rate, not like eBay? Everything is overpriced. Yeah, I mean, you can buy Forex. But again, you're going to get some slippage for sure. Should I sell my 1,000 shares of Apple and buy some Google? I have no idea whether you should or not. And again, it's something that you want to understand. Like, nobody knows what these numbers are going to be, man. Truly nobody knows what these numbers are going to be. Nobody knows if they're going to be up, down, or sideways. Nobody knows if Google is going to do well, Google is going to do poorly. We really don't know. Nobody does. And so it's really important to always keep that in mind and understand that, like, nobody really knows. Asking some random person on the internet is not going to get you very far in terms of, in terms of trading by just asking them the right answers. Because I have no idea what Google's going to do, what Apple's going to do, what Microsoft is going to do. I can only speculate, and I'm certainly not going to tell anybody to buy or sell anything. You know what I mean? So hope you understand. I just get these questions all the time. I just don't have a crystal ball. I'm not one of those YouTubers that needs validation so much that I'm just going to tell you guys a bunch of stuff just to see, just if I'm right, I can, I get a lot of people that are like trying to give out stock picks, and then they're trying to say, see, I did you take my pick yesterday? And it's like, no, I didn't, but y'all just got to be smart and understand. Nobody knows any of this stuff. Well, maybe insiders know, but it's definitely not me on YouTube. Yeah, I just try to stay flat for earnings most of the time because it's just risky. It's just risky. Hey, thank you one time. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'd rather just be real about it. I'm shorting the Dow right now in futures. So again, you can kind of see I'm short one contract of the Dow. I'm building up this cushion on the day. And so far we've got 140 bucks up. We've got a little bit of cushion here. Yeah, all good, Mark. Yeah, I'd rather just be real and honest with people. So that's what I'm attempting to do, is just be real and honest. Hey, thank you, Lil Millie. Hey, thanks, Bo. Housing news at 10 a.m. Should I invest in my neighbor's dog noodle company? What type of dog noodle company? I find those questions more interesting about different businesses. Give me some good business ideas you've heard lately. Like, what are some good business ideas? I thought about getting into watch dealing, but there's so many fakes around, and I'm not good enough at spotting the fakes that I think that it's just a sketchy thing. That's the same reason I thought about opening up a pawn shop, but I think the overhead costs and the risk based off location are going to be too high. All right, so we're still in the YM. Long. I rent campers. So what do you buy? Campers and then rent them out? That doesn't seem like a bad idea. You know, I've heard a lot of people that are like, oh, buy a supercar and then rent it on Toro. And I'm just kind of like, bro, that sounds like a freaking terrible idea. The reason it's terrible is that, you know, like, have you ever taken care of a rental car? I haven't personally. I'm not, it's not like I rag them out or anything, but like the problem with that is simple. It's that people don't respect rental cars, especially supercars. Like you go rent a Lamborghini, right, for a week, right? Say you rent a Lambo for a day. Are you going to drive the speed limit? Of course not. Like you're going to freaking go crazy in that thing, man. And so over time, a bunch of people renting your supercar is going to destroy that supercar. You're going to lose so much money in the end. It's not even worth it, right? But again, the problem is that everybody's trying to put out these business ideas. You know, they're trying to be entrepreneurs, but they don't think about it deeply to really understand the risks. Like, think about it, man. Like, I rent out a Ferrari, bro. I'm speed racing that Ferrari when I have it. You know what I mean? And when you get 10 people in a row doing it to it, eventually that car is going to be beat up. Now, campers are different, though. That's why I said the camper one is interesting because people don't beat up campers as much. And so renting campers out might be a good idea. The one business I'm thinking about is dumpster rental. I've been thinking about that one for a while now. And it seems like a pretty good margin business. Like you rent a dumpster, you know, you can get about $500 a week for one dumpster, right? Dumpsters cost about $4K. And so, you know, for you to basically earn that back in revenue and 4 rentals, you know, now it's not going to be net profit, of course. So it's like you might keep 50% profit, right? So to have, but even still, like 8 rentals to pay for it is pretty good. And dumpsters are pretty durable. Like they're not going to break. You're not going to really be able to beat them up like that. You know, they're not easily stolen. You know what I mean? You could put a bunch of trackers in them. Like they're pretty safe businesses in that regard. And so I think that's when tour buses are going to get destroyed, brother. That's the, you know, car repo company. Yeah, Chris, but that's not really passive. I'm looking for something passive. I don't have time to really drive around repoing people's cars. I'd also feel bad about that one. All right, so we're still in the Dow. We're short in the Dow. We got 10. We're up $10. We're just trying to let this break down. Self-storage is good, but it's expensive and it's expensive to get in. So like you'd have to buy a storage unit, and you know, again, it's just really expensive. Risky, but expensive. Not as risky, I mean, but expensive. Yeah, that's the big problem with dumpster rentals is you got to have a truck. Now you can either partner with somebody that picks them up and drops them off and then earns a cut from it, or you could buy the truck yourself. The problem is that the truck's expensive, you know. Yeah, I'd have to partner with somebody to go do it. I'm not going to be able to go drop them off and do that stuff myself. Yeah, I don't usually trade the Dow, but I'm also I've already got a cushion on the day, so it's time. Dumpsters are too little money and too much time. Yeah, you're probably right there. That's the only thing that stopped me from doing it. Like I have the money to do it and to put in like some money from it, but it just again, the problem with that business is that it's not passive like I want it to be. You know, now I could always buy treasury yields right now with 100K and earn 5K a year in treasury income, which isn't really that bad. You know, again, you earn 5K a year right now with 100K. With 100K, you're basically earning Or no, I did times 12. Oops. So 5,000 divided by 12. So you're basically earning 400 plus bucks a month by loaning the government 100K, and you'll get it back. Yeah, self-service ice machines. Although that's, I don't know. We'll see. I've thought about flipping houses for sure. All right. So again, we're in the Dow. We are down. We're up now. We're up 20 bucks. We get a little bit more from this before we cut the trade. 25 bucks. 30 bucks. 35 bucks. 40 bucks. I'll go ahead and cut that there. All right, so you can see we're up about 200 on this account on the day, and 195. I'll be right back, guys. I'll be right back. But the Dow's starting to break down again. Here's Boeing. SPY pulled it back a little bit also. Shout out to Chart Prime, but I'll be right back. All right, we're back. Yeah, I'm definitely not going to do a restaurant. Yeah, you have a fleet of what? Yeah, but I mean, look, I'm not saying $10,000 a year isn't a lot, but it's not enough for me for the type of business I'm specifically looking for. So yeah, we did get that little breakdown on the Dow. Again, there's the SPY breaking down a little bit more too. See the NASDAQ. We got a nice little cushion on the day for sure so far. Let's see if we get another one. But we got a small cushion on the day so far. A lot of red action coming through recently, specifically on the SPY. As long as we don't maintain that downward trend again, I think we're okay. I work from home, so it's just a side hustle. Yeah. Buy cheap commercial lot and rent the space. How are you going to rent a lot, though? Self-service car wash? Yeah, if they have one available, maybe, but... All right, so we're in another trade here on the NASDAQ short right now. I'm probably going to get ready to cover this last breakdown. So we just covered. Again, now we are up on this one about 320. So now we've got a lot of room to take some larger risks if we want. I don't know if we're going to, but Powell speaks at 435 right now, 435. Yeah, for sure. But I'm looking for something that's scalable 7.5. So 1975, I'm looking for something that's actually scalable, that I could scale to more. Rentable private dog parks. What do you mean? The problem with that business model, Anon. The problem with that business model is like, and again, this is something that like, look, I'm a big believer in like monetizing your passions, right? Like figure out what you're passionate about and then monetize the crap out of it, is what I'm a big believer in, right? But the problem with that is, the problem with something like that is like, you got to make sure whatever you're passionate about has enough market interest to make it justifiable. You know, I see this mistake with YouTube channels a lot of the time. Like I see a lot of YouTube channels sprout up and like what they're covering, they just don't have enough interested people to make it profitable, right? Like whatever it is, it's too niche, it's too niche, it's too specialized to where there's just not enough people searching for whatever they're putting out. You know what I mean? And they're wondering why they're not getting views. And it's like a lot of them aren't getting views because there's just not enough freaking interest to it. Like there's not enough interest. You know, you need more interest. And I will say this: shout out to Chart Prime, because you saw that last Dow short and then the NASDAQ short. So you can kind of see what I'm doing here on Chart Prime. This is a trading view indicator service I can use in stocks, crypto, Forex, futures. And what you can see I'm doing here is I've got a lot of these up, right? So I've got a lot of these up. So again, if you want to see why I shorted the Dow, it's because I got this reversal down signal. Look at that reversal down signal. Boom. Beautiful breakdown. I also got the sell signal on the S&P, the sell signal on the NASDAQ 100. And so when a lot of these sell signals, reversal signals show up, I'm bearish. And it definitely helps my sentiment. Just to show you one chart here, right? So again, here's the E-mini. Again, I always tell you guys, my favorite way to do this is when you get an engulfing candle and a reversal signal at the same time like this. So you can kind of see these are within 10 minutes of each other. Beautiful rip up. Beautiful rip up. And again, I challenge you to back test it when both of them show up within 10 minutes of each other. Like look, here's another one. Bullish engulfing candle, reversal up signal, beautiful bounce. Keep going back. Look, here's another one. Bullish engulfing candle, reversal signal, beautiful bounce. Reversal. This one's too far apart, but you still got to bounce. This one's too far apart. You still got to bounce though. But again, possible reversal up, bullish engulfing candle, beautiful bounce. Look, you can kind of see it literally calls the top and bottom. So again, look, here's the engulfing. This is called the regular market oracle. You can get 40% off if you use my link. Look, bullish engulfing candle, reversal signal. Again, within 10 minutes of each other, and you get this, and you get this. Beautiful drops. You know, same thing here. Look, same part. Reversal up, bullish engulfing candle, beautiful bounce. Strong sell signal called that one right too. That's called the Market Oracle Pro that gives these strong signals here. But again, bullish engulfing candle, reversal up, beautiful bounce. And so again, powerful if you use it right. I can't guarantee you're going to make money. Nobody can. But it's genuinely useful in my opinion. And this is just a small piece. Like I could put up chart patterns right here. I could put up chart patterns. I could put up oscillators, smart money concepts, like all this different stuff. I'm using them on the background, so I don't want to put up too much stuff that I'm not going to use. I mostly use the Oracle chart patterns, and that's it. You know what I mean? And then I put up 4 different charts. So I watch all the major future contracts, the NASDAQ, you know, whatever I want to watch. And it just, again, I can't guarantee you're going to make money. They're a sponsor of mine. And so I'm biased, of course, in their favor. But it could just be really useful. And again, I challenge you to backtest it yourself. I can't guarantee you're going to make money, but backtest it yourself, especially the one that is my personal favorite, where you have the engulfing and the reversal signal showing up together. That just works really, really well. And again, I'll put the link up in the chat if you want to check it out. Great way to help support your boy here in this channel. Again, I'm always honest. I can't guarantee you're going to make money. They're not always going to be right. You know, they're just meant to kind of help a little bit, but I can't guarantee anything. But if you want to check it out, they are a sponsor. I'm certainly biased because they pay me money. There's the link. It's called Chart Prime. Link is right there. And again, we got Boeing numbers coming out today. Super interesting. We'll see if Microsoft hits 250. SPY bouncing back up a little bit today too. But again, I can't fake what I showed you guys. And that's why, like, again, you know, to be honest, prior to being sponsored by them, I was always kind of a skeptic. I'm a natural skeptic with everything, to be honest. Like, I'm a natural skeptic with everything. And prior to being sponsored by them, I was kind of skeptical here too. But like, I started to actually look at it and test it myself. I'm a big back tester. You know, honestly, you get a lot of people back testing videos, posting back testing videos on YouTube now. Honestly, I was one of the first people to ever post a back testing video. You know, now they got like that channel trading rush and all this other stuff. I was one of the first people to ever post a back testing video on YouTube. It was posted like 5 years ago. It was titled Backtesting the Opening Range Breakout. I was really like one of the first people ever to do it. Honestly, part of me thinks that I started that niche, the backtesting niche on YouTube. And again, I can't find a video. I haven't been able to find a video backtesting a specific strategy on YouTube that was posted for mine. And so just to show you that video, I'm a big backtesting guy. You know, and now everybody's trying to make backtesting videos and everybody's doing this and everybody's doing this, right? But again, 4.5 years ago, I posted this video. I posted this video on January 8th of 2019. So January 8th of 2019. It's been a while since I posted one, but I've been backtesting these for a long time. And again, I haven't been able to find one earlier than this. You can kind of see it here. But when I started backtesting Chart Prime, you know, you realize how powerful they can be. Does Chart Prime work on a phone? Trading View, it's a Trading View indicator service, so you can use it in stocks, crypto, forex, futures. Yeah, I was talking about this earlier, but bro, I've been watching these catfish videos, dude, and they're so freaking terrible, man. Like, I feel for some of the people, but some of them absolutely deserve it, dude. Like, again, I talked about this one earlier. I talked to, well, I'm not going to, well, no, it's a paid service. So I'm not going to use it on YouTube because it's a paid service. It would eliminate the purchase point of having it if I gave it away for free on YouTube, you know? And again, I'm not telling anybody to buy or sell anything. I'm just saying if you're interested, check it out. You can use it as stocks, crypto, forex, futures. But anyways, I saw this terrible one. Honestly, some of these people genuinely deserve it. Like, bro, listen, if you're a 70-year-old biker chick who's cheating on your husband with somebody who claims to be Johnny Depp online, and he's saying that his bank account's frozen, so he needs you to send him thousands of dollars in Walmart gift cards. You know, Darwinism. You deserve this. I'm not saying you deserve it, but like, and again, the person's even mad at the husband. One of the people was like this, right? There was one person that thought she was in a relationship with Dacre Montgomery, which is Billy from Stranger Things. Dacre Montgomery, which is Billy from Stranger Things, right? And she's talking about how toxic her husband is with her finances. She's like, yeah, you know, my husband, he never lets me buy anything without checking on it first. He's always watching my bank account. You know, he's so toxic, right? And then, you know, Dacre Montgomery, Billy from Stranger Things, is like, hey, well, you should leave him. You know, and she's like, yeah, I should leave him. He's toxic. And then he's like, oh, yeah, will you send me $10,000 in Visa gift cards? And she's like, sure. You know, and so she's like, yeah, my husband's toxic because he doesn't trust me financially. He doesn't trust my finances. And it's like, lady, he shouldn't trust you financially. Like, you left him and you immediately sent a fake Dacre Montgomery $10,000 in Visa gift cards. Like, I wouldn't trust you with finances either, lady. Like, of course he doesn't trust you with finances. You're not trustworthy financially. You know, but again, some of these people absolutely deserve it. Go watch it. It's called Catfished on YouTube. It's hilarious. You know, my daughter and I are super into it because we just kind of laugh at the people. But it's hilarious. It's just kind of like the audacity of this lady. Like, oh, my husband doesn't trust me with our finances, you know, and so I'm going to leave him and send Billy from Stranger Things $10K because, you know, Billy from Stranger Things must be struggling financially, guys, you know. You know. Microsoft's going to sell off. I'm not sure. We'll see. But Boeing's still bouncing a little bit here. SPY ripped back up some. I think we're probably going to continue in this downtrend, though, and reject the 200 EMA is my guess, but I'm not 100% sure. We'll see. Yeah, you'll get into it if you watch it. Again, if you guys want the video of the episode that I'm talking about where she's like, yeah, my husband doesn't trust me financially, and then she sends Dacre Montgomery over like $10,000. The fake, it's not a real, like, bro, these people are just delusional, man. I think some of them have to be narcissistic. They're either narcissistic or they're like Homer Simpson dumb, you know, because like, who's genuinely going to believe this, you know? Yeah, I don't know what Microsoft's going to do. Again, Microsoft's up a lot, and so I could see it pulling back a little bit. It's at 346s. So I could see it pulling back some, but I don't know how much it's going to pull back. It had very strong earnings for sure, like very strong earnings. Mobile dog running van. It just seems so much work, though, the mobile dog running van. It just seems like a lot of work. You know? John Jones out of USC 295. All right, guys. Yeah. Gordon's a National Lampoon's Vacation. What do you think about Microsoft and Google earning calls affects Amazon price and its upcoming earnings call? I'm not sure. I think tech moves in sympathy with each other. So tech tends to follow each other, but only to a limit. Like it's not just going to constantly follow each other without anything else. Like it's to a specific limit, and then we'll see. Yeah, I'm not going to do dog cleaning or I'm not going to do any type of service business for dogs. It's too much work for too little money relative to my time is going to be better spent doing something else. No offense to anybody that does it. It's just not going to be the most effective use of my time, Yeah, I'll check it out, A9. What media sources are you? I'm getting them from a bunch, to be honest. I'm looking at a bunch of different sources when I trade. And again, I told you guys I thought that the SPY would probably break down some more, and it did. So I told you guys I thought we would probably reject the volume weighted average price 200 EMA. I went on Top Step TV and I talked about this specific strategy yesterday. Where we test lows, right? So this is the strategy. I'll go ahead and teach it to you guys here as well. This is the strategy. So again, I'm watching the 200 EMA volume weighted average price very closely. Like these are two levels that when they're close to each other, they can act as a major support or resistance level, right? And so what you see here is you see a breakdown of this pattern. You see a break under this major milestone level. Like that's a pretty big milestone level right here. You see a breakdown of that level. You get to move up to test it, and you look for a rejection at that level. And then I cover around the previous low of the day right here. So it's like a lot of traders are trying to short low of the days, or they're trying to long high of the days. I don't do that. I instead kind of buy the dip here and then cover around the lows, which is where most traders are taking profit. It's the bottom of the range right here, right? So I'm trying to cover at the bottom of the range and at least half of the position. And if it breaks down more, great. I'm still holding half of it. If it doesn't break down, I still took profit, and it's a much easier trade to manage after that. So that's the trade. Again, 200 EMA VWAP pullback breakdown works really well for me. Septic pumpers. All right, so when we zoom out, though, we could also potentially be in a longer-term trend of the NASDAQ here. So let me show you this trend. So it is also possible, guys, that we're in this trend right here. And it looks pretty solid as a trend. Like, it doesn't mean we're going to hold. But that looks like a pretty obvious trend, too. Now it's not perfect, for sure. But it looks pretty obvious. We'll see if it holds. Yeah, y'all have any other business ideas? Let's talk about business. What are some good business ideas? Again, what have we heard so far today on today's show? We've heard dumpster rental was something I brought up, but again, I'm questionable about it as well. Camper rental, dog walk, private dog walk parks, mobile dog washing station. Again, I'm not going to do any of these. Just buying real estate in specific areas, which is always risky. Anything else? Any other good ideas? And again, the problem with most business ideas you find online is that they're oversaturated and used up. No, that's too small and not scalable. Enough pew pew. You know, again, you got to think larger scale. You know, I don't want some eBay store, you know, or some, again, I would do Amazon FBA if I really thought I needed to, you know, but that's the problem, is that it's not super scalable. I mean, and we're working on a bunch of other stuff in the background too. So like we've been working on other stuff for a while now. But somebody swapped 9 million in ETH into USDC using swaps in one transaction and paid $80,000 for it. All right, guys. So yeah, we're watching a lot of craziness online too. A dentist? Bro, I'm not gonna be a freaking dentist. A dentist? A chiropractor? I'm skeptical of chiropractors in general. I'm not saying they're not useful, but like, you know, chiropractors, I don't know, dude. I can crack my back very well. Like, I can crack my own back very well. Like, I can stand up and pivot my hips, and people 20 feet away will hear my back crack. So I can crack my back very well. I don't need a chiropractor. And again, whether chiropractic actually works is arguable for sure. You know, I think placebo effects are very powerful things. And I think a lot of humans are engaging in things that they feel good about, mostly from placebo effect. And I think chiropractors are one of them. Yeah, dentists, even dentists, bro. My towing company averaged $725 a year with 5 trucks. What kind of towing company? Jeff, explain. So was that 725 in revenue or 725 net? Ryan Felipe stunt double lookalike, huh? You know, maybe one day, bro. Yeah, I mean, the problem with dentists is this, right? I had my first cavity when I was like 30. Okay. I had my first cavity when I was like 30, right? What they don't tell you, what dentists don't tell you, is that if you brush your teeth well, your cavities will fill up. Like they will fill themselves up. They will close up themselves if you brush them well, right? But you go to a dentist and he's like, oh, you got to get this filled and this filled and this filled, and they're just cha-ching, 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 cha-ching. They're just owning you financially, you know. And so the problem with dentists is they're incredibly expensive. Most people's insurance doesn't cover them, and so they really need to justify their rent. And so, you know, oh, you got these baby cavities, let's pay to get a filling, pay to get a filling, pay to get a filling. Where I would say majority of cavities, you don't need to get a filling. Like, you could probably brush your teeth well for a month or 2 or 3, and that cavity will fill back up. And so a lot of dentistry work is just unnecessary, and just charging people money to justify it. Hey, later, Tiny. Have a good day. Hope you do good. Hope you have a good day. Yeah, for sure. Ain't on. Auction cars, private town, and relocating it. So explain it, Jeff. So explain that business, the tow truck business. What were your main business endeavors? I don't know anything about it, so explain it to like a 5-year-old. Or like an 8-year-old, maybe, The cavity will close itself if you brush it well. Yes, Alex. If you brush your cavities, if unless they're freaking monstrously huge, if you brush them well with good toothpaste and you brush them well regularly multiple times a day, they should close up eventually. I can't guarantee it. I don't, I know mine have. I know I had a lot of cavities, brushed it really well. They closed up. So. All right, so Q testing these lows. And again, we did get this big rejection here, which is what I thought we would. Again, I'm still watching the SPY to see if we actually hold this trend line that we're in. Trend line still looks pretty obvious. We can draw it out here so you can see it. So this is the recent trend here. Now, again, you can kind of see this obvious trend right here. So if we get a pop back up, we're confirming that trend. And then we also have the 200 EMA volume weighted average price level right there, which probably is important to watch. Move cars from repo yards to auction, which when times were bad, we're busy, and then when times were good, we pick up lots of lease returns for GM and Ford. Lease returns, so do you mean people didn't pay their lease and you have to go pick their car up? And like get their car from them, like the YouTube videos I see that are highly entertaining of tow trucks pulling up, grabbing the car, people running out angry, but them driving off, skirting off. That seems like fun, to be honest. King, what is that? Cavities fill themselves up? I mean, it's pretty common knowledge. Look at the other. Look at the. I had cavities fill. Like cavities do fill. As long as they're not. And this is not like unknown. This is the reality of it. Like you could ask your dentist. If your dentist tells you the truth, that's what they're gonna say. It's not. Let's not be dramatic here. Sequel to Leave It to Beaver. Honestly, what was the Leave It to Beaver movie that came out in the 90s? Should I buy a stock of Amazon? A stock, one share, if you want to. Yeah, for sure. It also depends on a lot of stuff. How much sugar you drink, all that stuff. Yeah, again, it depends on a lot. So, again, I'm not saying dentists aren't necessary. I'm saying that like a lot of the times you're getting charged too much. And a lot of the time you can brush your cavities and they're going to close up themselves if they're small enough, not the huge ones, like I said, but. All right, so we did get a bounce at the bottom of this trend. Look at Boeing start to pop. So Boeing at 189s right now. So Boeing moving up. No winner. Go to dealers and get new leads. If the dealer didn't buy it, we picked them up to sell at auction. We moved on average 1,600 cars a month. What do you mean if the dealer didn't buy it? What is it called specifically, Jeff? Yeah, I'm a natural skeptic of everything. Early stages of a cavity can be reversed with good brushing habits. So I'm going to give you guys, a quick Google search by the AC Pediatric Dentistry and Orthodontics Association. Okay, gotcha. Do you think sports is scripted? No, I don't think it's scripted. I'm not a big conspiracy guy. I just don't trust dentists or chiropractors, which should be understandable. I think a lot of people I think placebo effects happen a lot there. Now I trust actual doctors, of course, and it's not like I don't trust them. I'm just skeptical of dentists and chiropractors, which I think is understandable. I've had bad experiences with dentists who have rushed me into stuff that I didn't need, and wait. So maybe I'm biased against them. Yeah. So Powell's speech is at 3:35. 3:35 or 4:35. All right, so again, we're confirming this trend on the SPY. We're at 422.20s. Yeah, I got bad acid reflux. All right, guys. So we're just kind of hanging out right now. We're still in the trend on the Nasdaq. I don't know what I want to do with it yet. We're bouncing all the way back up to the 200 EMA volume weighted average price. The market actually opens in about 17 minutes. Nah, sports aren't scripted. I think there are other ways where the organizations get the larger market cap teams to win. And they're also looking for good stories. And so the refs might make some questionable calls, but it's not scripted, I think. I think sometimes you just have good and bad refs. All right, team. So we're up on this account about 300 on the day. We're going to get ready. It's not going to be a super long stream. Again, here's the NASDAQ. Again, you can see we're watching this trend. We've been watching it essentially all morning. Yeah, sure, Jeff. If you want to send me one on Twitter or Discord, I will certainly consider whatever you send. And again, if you want to check out Top Step funded account program and futures, they give you a demo, test your skill. If you can hit the target while following their rules, they fund you between 50 to 150K with a 90% split. There's no PDT rule in futures, so you can day trade essentially the SPY and what's called the E-mini, essentially the NASDAQ and what's called the NQ. You can see this is the NASDAQ E-mini 100. I can day trade, buy market, buy bid, sell the ask, just like stocks, no PDT rule. But these funded account programs are allowed, and they give you a demo, test your skill. If you can hit the target without hitting the max loss and following their rules, they fund you the same amount with a 90% split once you're funded. If you want to check it out, there's the link. They're definitely, they're a sponsor of mine, so I'm certainly biased in their favor because they pay me money, but that should be understandable. This is like, we only do we've done 2 commercials in a 2 or 3 hour stream. So just like the radio has commercials, so do we. And so again, if you want to check out our sponsors, there's the link. And yeah, we'll see if we get anything good today. At Beginner Trades is my Twitter handle. Yeah, definitely top 3. All right, guys. Waiting on the internet. We got 13 minutes left. I don't really want to short because I think we could still potentially be in this trend on the SPY. I don't really want to go long because I think we're under the VWAP, under the 200 EMA, testing the lows of the day here. So all right, so we got a little pop, but sideways action. Snap is moving. Yeah, Snapchat dropped earnings yesterday. I think they did good, right? But they didn't actually hold their gains. They ripped all the way up to 12, came all the way back down to under 10. All right, guys. So we just got to sit tight here. We got 11 minutes until the market opens up. I do see Snapchat starting to come back and get some legs. Again, the SPY still bouncing at this spot. Like if you look at the bottom trend line here, we can see it. Yeah, I mean, chiropractors aren't doctors, like that's the difference, man. Dentists are, but and again, I think dentistry is useful. I'm never saying that dentistry is not. I think the problem is like people get taken by these guys. Like they pay so much unnecessary money to chiropractors and dentists that when they hear me say, hey, like some of this stuff isn't really necessary, they get weird and it's confirmation bias. Like they want to defend their spending. Which I get, again, maybe I'm wrong. I could certainly be wrong. I'm not attacking any of them. I'm just, by my own personal experiences, I'm skeptical against a lot of the stuff dentists say you need. And I think, of course, a lot of it is really important. But I think it's okay to be skeptical. And if you're getting super upset, it probably has to do with your own, insecurities regarding purchases that they've made already themselves. You know what I mean? But it's all love. Yeah, flossing super good. Tesla claiming the VWAP. Yeah, for sure. It's a deep cavity. Yeah, 100%. You got to get it worked on. You can't just ignore it. I'm never saying that. Uh, you know, you got to get cavities filled, guys. Trust me. Like I'm not arguing that you don't. I think if it's a small cavity though, you don't. And I think a lot of like small time, like struggling dentists just fill everything so they can, you know. Anyways, Tesla trying to move back up. But it's still set at 216. It's mostly flat. We're right around where we opened up yesterday on Tesla, so it's still pretty quiet. Can y'all not hear the music? You should be able to hear it. Yeah, again, we don't really have any economic stuff dropping today. It's pretty quiet. The big data starts tomorrow, so we're just kind of sitting quiet, waiting for something to go on. But it's a boring day, to be honest. Right now, not a lot of stuff. Kind of a quiet time. The rest of the day is pretty busy though. We've been streaming a lot. Again, yesterday, today. Also, I'm gonna put it in sub only mode if I can. So again, if you haven't already subscribed, we appreciate the love. Can y'all not hear the music? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think you got some people that just look to criticize. Like some people are just desperate to find something that I say wrong so they can use it against me. A lot of the time, to be honest, a lot of the time they're like penny stock traders who are so desperate for me to believe that, are so desperate to push like sketchy penny stocks that when I tell people, hey, most penny stocks are sketchy and terrible companies, it makes them emotional. But again, like, listen, guys, we're not going to agree on everything. It's all love here. Like, we're not going to agree on everything. Like, I can dislike penny stocks, and that's okay. I mean, you got to look at the stats behind penny stocks. Most of them fail, and it is what it is. Where are treasury bonds right now? Where are the yields on the 10-year chart? So treasury yields are up today. They're at 4.88%, almost 4.9% today. So we'll see what the 10-year yield does. We're at almost 4.9% again. We ripped over 5% a couple days ago. We were over 5 on the 23rd 2 days ago, and now we're back at 4.8%. You can see the chart here. So here's the bond yield chart. We got 6 minutes here, team. 6 minutes. But yeah, you can see the bond yield chart right here. And again, so here's bond yields. On the 23rd, we were over 5% for a little while. There's the 5% level. You can kind of see since then we've dipped down. And now we're at about 4.88, 4.89%. So we'll see what bond yields do. Again, the interesting thing, the yield curve is relevant. There's just a lot of stuff to potentially watch. No, never heard of it, John. It's kind of low. Okay, here, I'll put it up. Yeah, I definitely don't have oppositional defiant disorder. If anything, when I'm dealing with teachers or coaches or, whomever, um, I'm usually pretty passive and cooperative with them. I'm definitely not super defiant. Never was. I was always kind of like not a yes man, but I was always just very easygoing, laid back with teachers for the most part. Now I might not have done my work, but I didn't like making scenes. I have just me personally. NASDAQ looking bearish, just won't break down yet. Yeah, we'll see about the oh, I was saying that people defy what you say. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of it is jealousy, man. I think a lot of it is envy and jealousy. I think a lot of people, I think you got some people who were hating on my channel when I had 50 viewers. And I told them at the time, I was like, yo, you're just going to have to watch the channel get larger and larger. And they have. And so a lot of them are just kind of weird. I'm sure some of the haters are people I know personally or people, I think I always said this before. You don't get any larger haters than other YouTubers, right? Other YouTube channels, people who have tried to do what you do and failed are the biggest haters you could ever have. Like you'll look at a lot of the hating comments in the chat, and some of the biggest hating comments are people who have other channels that are small that never actually like succeeded. And so, that makes you realize that, like, a lot of it is just envy, jealousy, I mean, listen, when you look this good, and you're on the internet, I mean, people are going to hate, when you got a beard like this, you know what I mean? It is what it is. Cheers to the haters. Let's see if we bounce here. Again, I'm not really buying anything. We're towards the bottom lows. And so we're towards these lows right here. You can see the trend on the SPY. It's the one thing stopping me from going short right here. Even though, look at the breakdown in the NASDAQ. We'll see if the SPY ends up cracking here before the opening bell. Yeah. So we did get that crackdown here on the SPY and the NASDAQ. So we just broke that bottom trend line here. We got 2 minutes till the market opens, team. So we'll see if we get anything good. Yeah, we got a good little cushion here. Yeah, somebody said yesterday on the Top Step show that I still didn't have my funded account. Like, bro, look, I'll show you guys them. Just so people can't say, oh, you don't have your funded account, bro. Look, I'm gonna take a picture of it right now. If it'll let me. Hold on, let me see if it'll give me the delayed response. Hold on, wait. Just so you guys can see. We still have both. We have 2 Express funded accounts right now. We did lose on one of them, but we have 2 Express funded accounts right now, here and here. Can't fake it. That proves that I still have both funded accounts that I said I had. I haven't lost either one of them yet, and so yeah, y'all be all right. And here's the NASDAQ here. We're starting to get the breakdown here. Again, you can kind of see the trend. It depends on if we hold down, though. Is really what it depends on. Like, it really depends on if we actually like hold and break down, which I'm not sure if we're going to or not. We'll see. Again, the 10-year yield's pushing up. Nvidia, another one to probably talk about here. Hey, thank you, New York. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you, sir. Who can hate you? Oh, you'd be surprised. Definitely top 3 most haters ever. I'd probably talk about haters. Top 3 most talk. Whoa, look at Nvidia right now. I was gonna say top 3 YouTubers who talk about the haters the most right now. Definitely top 3. But Nvidia push it up. We're at 436s right now at the opening bell. I'll see if we hold. But look at Nvidia pop here at the open. Let me put this up so you guys can see it. Look at Nvidia rip. So Nvidia pushing up at the open. The SPY dipping down though, which is really interesting. Again, I guess I have a bearish perspective of the market right now, but it certainly could be anything. Google taking. Yeah, I mean, a lot of stuff started to correct from earnings. And again, we got Meta earnings today. We got Powell speaking at 4:35, I believe. So I think Powell speaks at 4:35. Look at the NASDAQ dump here. NVIDIA retraced all the way fully. So definitely short biased right now. Definitely looking weak here. And then NASDAQ sell signal on chart prime worked really well. See, I don't like this though. I need a little bounce up to short this first. It's not a Fed meeting, but we do have Powell speaking, doing an interview later. Again, this breakdown's a little bit too much. Look at the SPY fall. SPY falling. NVIDIA struggling. Let's first Tesla out right now. Tesla looking weak. See, this Tesla weakness is what makes me want to potentially short somewhere. That's some weakness coming through. Let's look at where the previous level was right here. All right, let's watch that. See if we get a bounce up to that level. Just so weak right now. Again, shout out to Chart Prime. And again, you can find the link for Chart Prime in the description. Like, look at this. Right, so like, look, sell signal here, and then look at the big breakdown you got on the NASDAQ. So it worked perfectly. I wish I would have caught it, but it's all good. We're not going to catch everything. All right, so here's the previous low of the day right here at 1470. 14713. I'm not sure what Powell's going to do to the market. I really don't know. I truly don't know what he's going to do. Again, we just got such red action here. It's a little bit too down for me to want to short it. Tesla's starting to bounce up a little bit. If we get a big enough pop, we will try to short back into it. All right, Tesla retracing back up. I guess I'm going to short this, although it's risky. One contract at the NASDAQ. We already got a cushion on the day. All right, so we just made another 50 bucks or so. I took it off quick. Like, we're kind of just scalping it right now. We have a nice little cushion on the day of about 350. No losing trades on this account yet. I see Tesla starting to retrace. See if we get a little pop and then a short maybe into it if we continue to get weakness. Yeah, the S&P 500 is still looking pretty weak. I'm going to short this again, although it's risky. All right, we're flat. This is taking too long. I'm probably going to cut this very soon. Oh, good thing I held on to it. All right, we just made another 100 or so in the day. Now we are up 450, as you can kind of see right here. All right, so we got a breakdown. Still no red action, or still no green action yet. We're just down a lot. Man, the NASDAQ is really what's reeling more than anything, but the SPY is down pretty heavily too. SPY testing 421s. Tesla still falling down. Again, we've had so many red candles since the open. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 red candles in a row. We've had 5 straight red candles here. The SPY just broke lows down under 421s now. Still breaking down. Still heavy weakness at the opening bell today. Ahead of GDP tomorrow. Ahead of Meta earnings today. Ahead of Amazon earnings tomorrow. Ahead of PCE data on Friday. Is it time to prepare, team? These are big drops, to be honest here, man. These are big dips. The market crash is not anywhere close. The SPY would have to hit like 380s, 370s for a crash to be really there. First green action we've seen all day. I'm usually one to kind of buy this dip up, but the market's looking so weak right now. I'm going to go ahead and buy a little bit up here. You know what? We'll try it. It's kind of playing with fire, though, but I'll try. Just getting punished for it, too, it looks like. We got the cushion on the day, so we can take our risk here. I like that retracement. I like it. Let's see if we get some more. There we go, up 40. 20, 75. Boom. All right, we just took another piece off of it. We are up 560 on the day, 560. Retraced all the way back down now, looking weak. But I do see Tesla starting to bounce, so I'm going to buy some more here. Boom, just made another 100 on the day. Scalping these $100 bills, man. We are up 660. Tesla's starting to retrace all the way back up. Finally starting to see some green action after a really bloody open. There's no Fed meeting today. There's a Powell speech at 4:35 market time. I believe it's at 4:35. Look at Tesla starting to rise. This might be bullish. Tesla breaking over the 200 EMA. I'm going to go ahead and buy this. There we go. Another $100. We're getting really good at scalping these $100. We haven't had one losing trade. This is my graph today. We were up 750 on the day. Tesla is really the reason too. Look at Tesla rise. So Tesla up to 217s. It's dragging everything else back up after some really bloody action this morning, though. But Tesla's up nicely today. That's cool. And now the market doesn't even care about Tesla, though. But our hands are off a little bit more right now, because the reason we're off a little bit more right now is because the SPY's heading down, but Tesla's moving up, which signifies choppiness, right? With big blue chip heading down or heading up like Tesla, and other stuff heading down, it's neutral in some ways. And so I'm just not confident in a specific direction right now. I'm just going to have to chill and wait. Yeah, Google's down a lot. Google at 127s. Tesla all the way back up to 218s. See if there's some news. Yeah, I don't see any Tesla news. Apple has explored whether Vision Pro could help treat mental health issues. Boeing CEO says we have arms around the Spirit Aerosystems issues. GD anticipates more than 60 business jets deliveries. Yeah, it's interesting. Tesla pushing up a lot, but the market's still kind of down. And so I don't trust it, because eventually Tesla is going to start to retrace back down, it looks like. So we got a nice little cushion on the day here. The question is, do we keep pushing, or do we celebrate with our $750 win? I don't know. Watching oil too. All right, so we're right around these lows. There's Tesla finally starting to pull back a little bit at 217s, which is what I was worried about. All right, so there's the NASDAQ cracking lows again, which is what I was worried about. Down way too much for me to really want to jump in anything right now, to be honest, man. There's Tesla pushing back up to 217s. Yeah, market is definitely a dumpster fire. I mean, it's not that bad. I mean, we're down for sure, but SPY's down 0.5% right now. So, I mean, it could be worse. It's not like a crash. I think a lot of short-term traders look at like moves like this, and they think it's just really, really bad. And you know, we cover short-term price action. So like maybe how I speak influences that a little bit too. But again, understand like when we look at the actual percentage move, right? So the SPY has dropped since the opening bell, the SPY has dropped less than $2 a share, right? It's approaching $2 a share. So even if we call it $2 a share, right, that means the SPY is down about 0.5% today since the opening bell. You know, is it bad? Sure. Is it the end of the world, market crash, end of the world? You know, no. You know, is it a fire sale? No. Yeah, we're just kind of sitting back though. We're down a little bit too much for me to take anything. Tesla pull it back to the VWAP 200 EMA volume weighted average price and the previous closing price. So PayPal's down a little bit. I mean, it's at 53 bucks. It's not too bad. I would say Tesla bouncing up a little bit. Maybe we'll get some green action. Again, the market's just down so much already. I'm going to buy up the dip here. It's a little risky of a trade. We're already up 750 on the day though. So, but we got the cushion to justify it. We see Tesla bouncing up a little bit. Maybe this will help us. Maybe this is just the wrong move. I'll give it one more second. I'm not going to take any more risk. Oh, almost popped back up. Try to add to it, see if we get a better gauge. We have the cushion to do it on the day. And looks like today was the wrong day to try. We're retracing back up. If we get a quick little pop, we'll be okay. And we're about to cut it. Nope, never mind. Got to watch Tesla really closely here too, because Tesla's going to be such a big influence over it. And we're about to cut this. So close. I mean, it's trying, but hands over the cover button. And I don't mind taking this risk because even if we lose here, we're back to break even. But and I think it was a high probability trade too. I just think we got unlucky. We'll give it a chance to come back. Again, Tesla's the one that matters. SPY's still cracking lows under 420s. But we retrace here, we have to cut it. And again, we're going to get out slightly green on the day if we do. We took our risk. Again, if you guys understand my system, we build up that cushion and we try to, yeah, we're going to have to cut it. So we got out green. We're up $100 on the day. Again, it could have been worse. But this is kind of what the system looks like. Like if I want to make $1,500 on the day, I can do this with less risk. But again, it's all good. Again, here's my P&L on the day. We're up $100. You know, we got 11-to-1 win-loss ratio, so we were doing really good until that point. But I didn't mind taking larger risks because we can, you know. And again, it's all good. Maybe we'll get another bounce. I'll switch to the regular E-mini or maybe a separate account and play with that if I can. But again, it's all good. So here's the E-mini. See if this is doing a little bit better. Which account is this? Let me make sure I'm on the same one. Okay, yeah. All right, there's the regular E-mini. I've also been watching the Dow. Let's see. Here's the problem, though. Look at Tesla break down. So that's the risk. Look at Tesla fall. So Tesla's starting to flush all the way back down to the bottom. That means that almost all blue chips are red for the day. Yeah, Nvidia dumping down. That's really what the struggles are today for sure. I wonder why the E-mini looks like this. I think I have to click this somehow. All right, so I'm probably going to close it down, guys. We got a lot of streaming we got to do later. Kind of gave back all my wins on the day. But again, luckily with my system, we still kept our risk pretty small. And so again, I'm not super upset. Again, I talked about it yesterday. I'm used to this. So I'm all good regardless. But I'm going to wait and be back later on today. We got Jerome Powell later on today at 4:35. We got Jerome Powell. We have Meta earnings. We've got Amazon earnings tomorrow. We've got GDP tomorrow. We've got PCE data, the personal consumption expenditure data on Friday. So it's a busy week. A lot of stuff going on. Yeah, it should be fun to see what we get for the rest of the day. Let me know what you guys think. I love you all. Y'all be safe. Again, if you want to day trade with me on Top Step, you know, these funded account programs are what I use on Top Step. They give you a demo, test your skill. If you can hit the target without hitting the max loss, they fund you between 50 to 150K. This is basically the S&P 500. I can buy market, sell market, buy bid, sell the ash just like stocks. I can also trade the Dow, the NASDAQ, currencies, gold and silver. The patterns are very similar to blue chip day trading, but there's no PDT rule. So you can day trade short. You know, you can't actually trade stocks, but you can day trade the index funds. And again, very useful to get around the PDT rule. And there's no PDT rule in futures. And these programs, most people are going to lose because most day traders lose. It doesn't matter whether they're on Top Step or whether they're on Thinkorswim. Most day traders lose money. And so it's just a lot cheaper to lose using Top Step. And if you're good enough to pass it, you still get a lot of the benefits, 10% split or 90% split. They pay out millions every year, fund thousands a year. They've been around for over a decade. Check them out. Great way to help support the channel. Love you all. Y'all be safe. I'll see you guys a little bit later on today. Again, we got a lot of streams coming later on today, so I'll be back bright and early. I don't know what Meta does. Do y'all think Meta beats or misses? I think it could go either way, to be completely honest. I think it could go either way. I think the market's going to be hanging on everything it does. And again, tomorrow with Amazon, it might be even more important. But yeah, love you guys. Appreciate the love. And I'll see you guys later.